Your desk setup is either working for you or against you. There's no in between. The right setup keeps you focused, helps you do better work, and honestly just makes you want to sit down and get things done. Today I'm going through my whole desk setup piece by piece so you can see what works for me and hopefully build something better for yourself. As always, everything's linked in the description below, so let's get into it. Starting with the foundation of the whole setup, the desk. Now, this is one of the most important pieces of your setup, so you need to choose it correctly. The one I use is the Desktronic Home 1 standing desk, which I got in the walnut finish because I love how warm and premium it looks. It gives the whole setup a really clean, elevated feel straight away. It's an electric standing desk, which means you can switch between sitting and standing throughout the day with the press of a button. There's a lot of research around how bad it is to sit for long periods, and having a standing desk genuinely makes me more conscious of that. I'll often stand up for calls or when I'm doing something less screen intensive. It's got 3 programmable height presets, the mechanism is smooth and quiet, and even when the desk is fully raised, there's no wobble at all. The construction is really solid. It is on the slightly more expensive side, but for something you're going to use every single day, I think it's a worthwhile upgrade. When choosing your desk, it's important you choose the correct size. I have a dual monitor setup and need space around that as well to be able to work comfortably, so I went for the largest option at 160 by 80 centimeters, but Desktronic do offer different sizes and finishes as well, depending on what will fit your space. Moving on to the monitor. The one I've been using for about 5 years is no longer available, so instead of suggesting the Samsung monitor I currently have, it's probably better I tell you what to actually look for when buying a monitor, because there's a lot to consider and it's easy to end up with something that looks great on paper but isn't right for your needs. The first thing is resolution. 4K is what you want to look for. It gives you a noticeably sharper, more detailed image than a standard 1080p screen, and once you've worked on a 4K display, it's hard to go back. The second thing is refresh rate, which is how many times per second the screen updates. The higher the refresh rate, the smoother all the animations on your screen are going to look. Most standard monitors run at 60Hz, which is fine, but anything at 120Hz or above feels significantly smoother, especially when you're scrolling, editing video, or just moving around the desktop. It's one of those things where you don't realize what you're missing until you've tried it. Then there's panel type. OLED panels are widely regarded as being the best panels right now with the high contrast and deep blacks, but they're very expensive. So IPS panels are generally the best all-rounder, giving you accurate colors and wide viewing angles, which is great for day-to-day work but also matters if you're doing any creative work like image or video editing. And finally, bezels. Thinner bezels give the setup a much cleaner, more minimal look, and if you ever go dual monitor, they make a big difference. Now, both my monitor and my MacBook are mounted. I can't stress enough how much of a difference this makes to the setup. Having both screens elevated and side by side, rather than the monitor on its stand and the laptop just sitting flat on the desk, frees up so much surface space and makes everything look so much cleaner. It's one of those changes that feels small until you actually do it, and then you'd never go back. And speaking of the MacBook, I'm on the MacBook Air 15-inch M2, which I got about 2 years ago, and it's still brilliant. It handles everything I throw at it, working across multiple apps, editing video, multitasking across both screens, without ever really breaking a sweat. I think the 15-inch screen is a sweet spot too. It's big enough to be genuinely useful as a second display when it's mounted, without being bulky if I have to put it in a bag to take somewhere. If you're in the market for a laptop and in the Apple ecosystem, I can't recommend the MacBook Air enough. Next up is the lighting, and this is something I put a lot of thought into because good lighting genuinely changes how a workspace feels. This section is sponsored by Quintus, who sent me 2 of their lights to try out. The first is the Quintus Screen Linear Monitor Light, which is a light bar that sits on top of your monitor. What I really like about it is that it only lights up your desk, your keyboard, your work surface, without any glare bouncing off the screen, which makes a real difference when you're deep in work for a few hours. You can dial it from a warm, cozy tone in the evenings to a crisp, bright daylight feel in the morning, and it's also got RGB backlighting that casts a soft glow onto the wall behind your monitor, which adds a really nice ambient feel to the whole setup. There's a small wireless remote that sits on the desk to control everything. Really intuitive, really easy, and actually quite sleek. I think it's a brilliant option if you want clean, focused lighting without any clutter on your desk. The one I actually use day to day though is a Quintus LED desk lamp, and the reason's simple. I love having light overhead when I'm working. It just feels more natural to me than light coming from the monitor level. It's the first time I've seen a desk like this. It spans a much larger area, and because it's got 4 swivel joints, I can angle each section exactly where I want and focus the light precisely on the parts of my desk I'm actually using. On top of that, you've got full brightness and warmth adjustment, so I can set it to whatever feels right for the time of day. And it's also got a radar motion sensor built in that turns the light on automatically when you sit down. That last feature sounds like a small thing, but honestly it's one of those details that just makes your whole setup feel a bit smarter. Both lights are linked in the description below. Next up, something small that I genuinely call a must-have, a simple phone stand. It doesn't charge, it just holds your phone upright at a good viewing angle, and having it sitting there visible on the desk is more useful than you'd think. For video calls where you want your phone nearby, for keeping an eye on notifications without picking it up, or just keeping it out of the way rather than lying flat on the desk. The one I have has an adjustable head so you can get the angle exactly where you want it, and it costs under £10. It's one of those things where once it's on your desk, you really wonder why you didn't have it sooner. Right, the keyboard, and this one's pretty simple. I've been using the same Apple Magic keyboard for about 15 years. People obsess over keyboards, you know, mechanical switches, custom keycaps, all of that, and look, I get it. But for me, this has always been a case of don't fix what isn't broken. The typing angle is perfect, the keys have a really satisfying feel, and because it connects wirelessly over Bluetooth, there are no cables cluttering the desk. It works seamlessly with macOS, and the battery lasts a really long time. The keyboard I've got is obviously an older version that isn't sold anymore, but Apple's current Magic Keyboard is essentially the same experience, and if anything, it's better because newer versions have Touch ID built in, which is a really useful addition. And then the mouse, which is honestly the thing on this desk I'd replace first if something went wrong with it. It's that good. I use the Logitech MX Master, and the reason I love it comes down to a few things. The scroll wheel is the best I've ever used on a mouse. It can switch between a precise clicky mode for going line by line, and a completely free spinning mode where you can fly through a long document or page in seconds. Once you've used it, every other scroll wheel feels like a downgrade. The other thing is how it connects. It pairs up to 3 devices at once, so I can switch between my MacBook and another machine with a single button press on the underside, which saves a lot of friction during the day. And the shape is really comfortable for long sessions. It fits naturally in the hand in a way that cheaper mice just don't. It's been one of the best things I've added to this setup, and I genuinely recommend it to anyone who spends a lot of time at a desk. There are newer versions available now. The MX Master 4 is the latest one, which adds haptic feedback and some new shortcut features. But if you don't really need that, then you can even pick up the MX Master 3S for a bit less and a very similar experience. And finally, a desk mat. Mine is a leather feel mat that covers most of the desk surface I work on, and it makes a bigger difference than you'd expect. It makes the whole setup look a lot more put together, protects the desk surface, and wipes clean really easily. Mine was cheap, around £15 on Amazon, and it's held up really well. Honestly, any leather feel mat in a neutral tone will do the job, just make sure it fits your desk dimensions. So that's my full desk setup, everything I use every day to work, create, and stay productive. I've linked everything in the description below, and if you found this useful, make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what's on your desk that you'd recommend, and I'll catch you in the next one.